Hi, my name is Shayla, and I'm going to do a quick video on keeping my shite together. That's the theme of this one today. And it it comes with a lot of things, life things. And I'm going to talk about the oils that I used this week to kind of keep my shite together. And right now I'm needing it a lot, needing a lot of it. So I'm going to start there with a blend or a blends multiple oils that I used at a particular day in a particular moment when my family suffered immediate loss. We lost our dog that we had very unexpectedly. We lost him, and to get through that grief and that very intense day, that very intense few hours afterwards, I used my Emotions and Essential Oils book, and I looked up grief, and I diffused all five that were on that list and put 3 drops of each into every diffuser within the house. And um, and I feel like that kind of helped get us, just push us through, like help deal with some of those emotions, because as we know, these oils are targeting the limbic system in the brain, and the limbic system is what regulates our emotions. And so those oils, those scents, those the things that they really needed to target those loss grieving cells. um, I feel really helped us get through that day, that really tough first day, and even thereafter. So here are the blends that, or here are the blends and oils that they said to diffuse and use. Uh, Deep Blue was one. I was really surprised. Deep Blue is the soothing blend. So I guess that kind of makes sense. It's going to help soothe not just your muscles, which is what I've been using it for when I go running, or after yoga, or things like that. I would use the Deep Blue. My mom uses the Deep Blue for her arthritis, her arthritic knee. She takes the complex, the capsules as well. But it also says to diffuse it for when you're suffering grief. So who knows? Deep Blue was put into the diffuser along with another surprising one, Breathe, the respiratory blend. And if we were to look it up, the respiratory blend is the oil of breath. So when dealing with emotions, maybe not so much our lungs, which we at my house are super big fans of Breathe in the wintertime because my daughter gets really congested. And so we use that to kind of open up her lungs and her nasal passages and things like that. So we even have the Breathe in a roller that we roll on the sinuses, we roll it on the chest. But it's also, emotion wise, it's the oil of breath, and it addresses the inability to let go of grief and pain. And it says the individual in need of the respiratory blend struggles to breathe and literally feels suffocated by sadness. I mean, reading it and recognizing that that's something that could help with that, I was like mic drop type of situation. So yes, Breathe is one that I put a couple drops in as well. And then, of course, Console, which I knew would be on there, the comforting blend. I used this a lot when I'm going through other loss in my life, and I would put it on my, diffuser bracelets, and I would put it on the back of my neck. But Console is that good comforting blend. It has a really good scent and smell to it too, as well. And another one that I've used in the past that I already knew would be on the list is Geranium. And Geranium, I again have used. My body craved it at one point in my life when I was suffering a severe loss, and more so than even the family dog. But my body craved it, and so I diffused it, and that really helped push me through that hard time. Geranium, and if just to know, again, geranium, if we were to look it up, it's the oil of love and trust, and it addresses almost all types of emotional issues, including abandonment, loss, grief, heavy-hearted, things like that. So geranium, of course, is going to be on that list. And then another surprising one for me was lime. Lime I don't have up here in my room, but it's downstairs because I put it in my water a lot. Lime also helps with that grief as well. And lime, if we look it up, if I look it up, when I look it up, not if, it's the oil of zest for life. So the positive properties of it, it helps you feel emotionally safe, grateful for, the gifts that you have in life and things like that. So those were the 5 that they said for grief, and I diffused all 5 at the same time in all of my diffusers in the house, which was, and the 5 were, again, deep blue, breathe, console, geranium, and lime. And then moving on, the days, it's been a few days now since we had experienced that and suffered that. I still at times, like I am now, like work is really intense, and with the children in the classroom being really dysregulated, and then also it's sometimes a struggle when so many of the children are dysregulated, and then you have staff that are trying to keep themselves regulated, and so it's just like a big, like everyone is working like a powerhouse to get through, and that's the kind of the way I feel at this point at the weekend, of just huge overwhelming feeling of I am really in need of keeping my shit together so that my family can be balanced and I can feel balanced as well. But I think when you're the sole provider for not just financially or anything like that, but just like the emotional needs of other people, and I mean, granted, I'm not the provider of their needs, but as a mom, you have to keep yourself together for your family, especially when they're going through a hard time. And it's really difficult to do that when you also have so many other things that are pulling you here and there. And I mean, finishing up Girls on the Run season. Today was our 5K, the end, not the end of the season, because we still have our community project to do, but like that final 5K, yes, we made it, and we did amazing. We practiced, we did all this, and then you get there and it's 9 degrees outside. It was cold. It was brutal this morning. But we did it, and we crossed the finish line, and we couldn't feel our toes, but we did it. But that's still like pulling, you're emotionally and mentally, you get pulled in so many different directions. And so after I took a very long hot shower to feel my toes again this morning, after that, I looked up overwhelming feeling, overworked, and some of the ones that they had said, again, I was surprised, and I don't know why I was surprised. Maybe it's because these are blends and oils that I don't use often, but I put them on in my lotion routine. I put on Arbor Vitae. I'll hold that up because sometimes Arbor Vitae and Tangerine were the 2 that I picked. They have other ones listed in my book, but when I see them, the ones that are listed, I also think, okay, what is appealing to me right now? What am I drawn to right now? Because I feel our bodies tell us a lot more than we acknowledge sometimes, unless we're paying really close attention to it and really focused on what our body needs. So the Arbor Vitae scent and the Tangerine scent were the 2 that really spoke out to me this morning when I was putting on my lotion and things. Some of the other ones listed were Ylang Ylang, Tension Blend, which is past tense, and for doTERRA, and then the Encouraging Blend, which is Motivate. So the Encouraging Blend, and then it also says the Inspiring Blend. So Motivate and Passion are 2 that I'm diffusing in my room, but I did not put them on yet. I put them on my bracelet, but I did not put them, in on my body to get absorbed by that. So I'm smelling it. I'm getting it in through, that's the scent and then that passageway, especially since, again, the limbic system is the one that controls our emotions. That's best targeted. That limbic system is best targeted by your scent, by your sense of smell, I guess. So I'm diffusing. That's the motivate and the passion, and it actually together smells pretty good. I'm kind of liking it. Maybe that's going to be my powerhouse, my powerhouse blend for being overworked and overwhelmed and keeping my shite together for everybody else in my life. So I think that's what I'm going to call it. Those two together, my powerhouse. But I also used arborvitae and tangerine. And tangerine is really, really tasty in water as well. I've used tangerine in my water often, very often. So I may mix that with some of the lime, since the lime is for the grief and the tangerine helps with being overworked. At the end of this week, that will be my putting it in tea. I could put that in my tea. I'm coming up with all kinds of ideas now that I start talking. So, yeah, that's kind of the conclusion of my week. And maybe tomorrow I'll still do my self-care Sunday. And maybe not, because this video was specifically about keeping my shite together. What oils are going to help me? I even thought this morning before leaving for the 5K, knowing that it was so frigid cold outside, what oils are going to keep me warm? And I almost debated on putting clove on, like actually on, just because it gives you that burning sensation, but don't do that. It's not safe. It actually does burn, not in the way you want it to. So yeah, if any of you know of any oils to keep you warm, because peppermint helps cool you off. I don't know. Maybe I'll Google it after I'm done with this video. Oils to keep you warm. Of course, I don't need it now because I'm done with the 5K. But, so that's the end of my video. I'm now just rambling. Hope you like it. Hope it was beneficial. Hope it wasn't just a complete, whoa, she's losing her shit. Or shoot, I'm losing my shite. Can't cuss. So, have a good week if I don't see you tomorrow.